Good day, everyone. Welcome to English 9 with Sir Nonong Flores. Before we start, I want you to remember the three S's. First, sit comfortably and focus. Next, show respect by listening attentively and participate actively. And last, speak up and ask for help. You may be the most intelligent, but there will always be a time when you need to ask for help from other people. Before I tell you what today's topic is, let us have a review of the past lesson. So, what are the different types of evidence? You're right. The types of evidence are the following: facts, statistics, quotations, and examples or anecdotes. Now, I would like to test what you already know about today's topic. So, I want you to answer these questions. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to answer each of them. So, if you have a piece of paper, grab them and write your answer. Number 1. Which one is good evidence for the statement, dog is a man's best friend? Letter A. My dog's friend beat me after petting it on our first encounter. Letter B. My dog sleeps all day. Letter C. My dog saves me from a snake attack. Next, you want to gather evidence to prove the importance of consuming fruits for a healthier lifestyle. Who will be a good source of reliable information? Letter A, smoker. Letter B, dietitian. Or letter C, your 2-year-old sister. Number 3. This refers to the position or slant toward which an author shapes information. Letter A, bias. Letter B, reliability. Or letter C, accuracy. Number 4. Which of the following does not present concrete evidence to prove a point about heart? Letter A. Your heart is a vital organ. It is a muscle that pumps blood to all parts of your body. Letter B. Your heart is a vital organ. It maintains blood pressure. Letter C. Your heart is a vital organ. Your heart longs for his affection. Number 5. What factor is not important in judging evidence? Letter A. Speaker's physical appearance. Letter B. Speaker's accuracy. Letter C. Speaker's bias. Time is up. We will not check your answers yet. At the end of this discussion, we will compare your pre-test and post-test scores to see whether the discussion was effective or not. To begin, I want you to play detective. I'm gonna read a scenario for you, and we will answer a question about it. On the first day of school, Maria was kidnapped. Police suspected 2 male and 2 female teachers and questioned them. They were asked what they were doing at 8 a.m. Mr. De La Cruz said, I was driving to school and I was late. Mr. Garcia, I was checking USB exam papers. Miss Ocampo, I was reading the newspaper. Miss Flores said, I was watching a news report about COVID-19. The police arrested Mr. Garcia. The question is, how did the police find out that Mr. Garcia was the kidnapper? What do you think? You were right. Mr. Garcia was the kidnapper because it was impossible that a teacher was checking an exam paper on the first day of school. So, what is the point of this activity? What I want you to realize is that when making a claim, it is very important that we support it with something like an evidence. Today's most essential learning competency is blank the validity of the evidence listened to. But you will notice that the first word is missing. So we're gonna find out what the first word is by listening to this song. So if you know the song, please sing it with me. PC 31 said we caught a dirty one. Maxwell stands alone, painting testimonial pictures. Oh, 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 oh. Rose and Valerie screaming from the gallery say he must go free. The judge does not agree and he tells them so. Oh. So, did you hear the word? If you heard it correctly, then the word is judge. Very good. So, the most essential learning competency is judge the validity of the evidence listened to. Just a while ago, I said that proving a point requires presenting an evidence. So, this question will actually prove that. Which of these students has the most valid or acceptable alibi for not submitting our school project on time? Student 1. I couldn't submit my project on time because my mother didn't give my allowance after finding out that I was playing computer games all night. Student 2. I couldn't submit my project on time because my boyfriend broke up with me and I was devastated. Student 3. I couldn't submit my project on time because there were too many urgent assignments from other subjects recently. So, what do you think? You're right again. Student number 3 has the most valid or acceptable alibi because it wasn't really his mistake that he didn't get enough time to complete his assignment. Great job. And so, how do we actually judge an evidence? Well, we can take a look at these four criteria. Number 1 is relevance. It is the information's level of importance to a particular viewing purpose or explicitly stated need for that information. Let's take a look at this example. Exercise is good for health because my mother tells me so. Well, just because your mother tells you so doesn't always mean that it's correct. So that piece of evidence may not be the most relevant to your claim, which is exercise is good for you or good for your health. A better and I should say a more scientific example would be exercise helps your overall health by boosting high density lipoprotein cholesterol, the good cholesterol, and by decreasing unhealthy triglycerides. What makes this a claim with better evidence or relevant evidence is because it tells us exactly what exercise does for your body to maintain health. Did you get it? Another way to judge an evidence is by looking at how accurate it is. So, what is accuracy? It is the extent to which information contains factual and updated details that can be verified by consulting alternative and or primary sources. Now let's see if we can pinpoint the accurate information from this chart. This one is about global poverty. I want you to analyze the chart, look at the labels, examine the numbers, and answer the questions within 30 seconds. Alright, time is up. Question number 1. Does poverty rate consistently increase in 2015 from 1990? Yes or no? The answer is no. Number 2. In terms of the number of poor, how many is the difference between 2011 and 2012? The answer is 85 million. Last question. Based on the chart, in what year is the poverty rate second highest? And the answer is 1999. Did you get the correct answers? If you did, then very good. Number 3 is bias or perspective. And it is the position or slant toward which an author shapes information. Sometimes the evidence is based on what the author thinks or believes. Now, that is not always bad, but emotions and feelings are not always reliable because what you feel is not necessarily what other people feel, right? So let's take a look at this example. iPhone 15 is durable because I've been using an iPhone for years. Now, this is an example of a biased statement because it's very clear that the speaker is biased towards iPhone because he's been a user of it for a very long time. I guess a more unbiased evidence would look like this. iPhone 15 is durable because its physical parts are made from premium plastic, metal, and glass. They undergone durability tests before release. Now, instead of just saying that I am a user of iPhone, I actually explain that it is durable because the materials used in producing or manufacturing these phones are actually premium quality. Okay, so let's take a look at these statements. Let's tell whether they are biased or not. Number 1 says, cooking is an essential skill that we relied on for generations for survival. Is that biased or unbiased? You're right. That sentence is not biased because it really is. Cooking has been a part of our survival. Not just for survival purposes. We cook so that we can express our love towards other people, right? Number 2, math is a boring subject. I think English is better because I enjoy it the most. What do you think? That one is clearly an example of a biased statement. It's clear that this person hates math and he just prefers English. So it's a matter of preference. Number 3, TNHS is the best school in Navotas. I am proud to be one of its brilliant learners. That is also an example of a biased statement. It is clear that the one speaking here is a student in that school. So there's a chance that that student will probably say that it's the best school because he studies there. The last of the 4 criteria in judging an evidence is reliability. It is the information's level of trustworthiness based on information about the author and the publishing body. Have you experienced listening to someone but couldn't just take the person seriously because you know that that person is not that serious type of person and maybe not the most trustworthy person? Let's take a look at these examples. My jobless cousin said that diploma isn't important to succeed. Now, I wouldn't rely on that person when learning about the importance of diploma because that person isn't employed and that person is jobless. So what makes him reliable? I think a more reliable source of information about the importance of education would be this. Nelson Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. If you're gonna ask me which one I rely more, Nelson Mandela or someone who is jobless, talking about the importance of education, that would be none other than Nelson Mandela, who had a great impact in the lives of black people. Alright, now we have here three people. The first is a kid, another is a scientist, and the last is a barangay official. What I want you to do is to arrange them from the most reliable to the least reliable. So, I'm gonna give you 20 seconds to think about your answer here, and timer starts now. Alright, time is up. So, your arrangement should look like this. Number 1 is scientist, followed by barangay official, and the list would be the kid. We're talking about something that is of great importance, and the person who knows a lot about COVID-19 would be none other than scientists. The next would be barangay official because they are responsible in spreading news and maintaining the peace and order in our barangay. And number 3 would be the kid because that person probably knows so little about COVID-19. Whatever it is that you learn today would be pointless if you cannot put them into application. So I want you to reflect on these questions. First, when was the last time that you were wrongly judged? And how did you feel about it? Next is, what can be done to avoid unfair judgments? Let us summarize the discussion by answering these questions. I hope that you remember. Number 1, what are the 4 criteria in judging evidence? And why are evidence important? Let us now compare your pre-test and post-test scores by revealing the answer. Number 1 is letter C. This is for the pre-test. Number 2 is letter B. Number 3 is letter A. Number 4 is letter C. And number 5 is letter A. Now let's take a look at the post-test answers. Number 1 is letter A. Bias is the position or slant toward which an author shapes information. Number 2 is letter C. It really tells us why the dog is a man's best friend. Number 3, letter A. Of course, the physical appearance of a person is not really important in judging the strength of an evidence. Number 4, letter B is your most reliable source of information if you want to learn about the importance of consuming fruits. And number 5 is letter C. So I hope that your post-test scores are definitely better than your pre-test. Before I say goodbye to you today, I would like to give you an assignment. And your assignment is to answer this. What is your motto in life? But I want you to look for evidence to support its validity. So with that, I hope that you learned something today. Goodbye, class. Stay safe.